Generals, gentlemen.
Hello and welcome back to Command and Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. I am the machine, the General Gentleman.
And I'm Archon Hawk, also the General's Gentleman. I'm going to take my second shot, trying to...
Alright.
Man, that is a nod, damn it.
Yeah, that's Grin.
But, so what do we got here? Okay.
Green 0 is the nod at the bottom, and
Yeah.
Swed-420 is actually, I don't know what faction he is. There's sub-factions. Okay, here's Reaper 17, I think. Yeah, Reaper 17. Reaper 17 is a sub-faction for Skrin that's less about, like, specialist infantry and more about big, scary tank things of doom.
I see.
Basically.
See, I spent an entire game learning unit names, and now I have to just give that all up. At least Green Zero is going to be playing Nod.
Yeah, I think he's not vanilla. Yeah, not vanilla.
Yeah.
So this is actually a custom map here on 1.2 plus, the bug fix map mods. And so a lot of militants. Militants aren't very good, so he needs to get 3 of them in a clump, otherwise they can't engage this Grin buzzers. Buzzers, they're like melee units. When they get in close, they eat their faces.
Yeah.
So they clear garrisons as well. So Tiberium Spike captured down here for Green 0. Meanwhile, this one here was captured by, I've got his name already, Swed-420. And let's see what the playstyles here are. Basically,
moving in down the bottom.
you want to scout,
Yep.
because you have the option to either eco really early, just go like double refinery, 4 or 5 harvesters, or sometimes you'll go like a really aggressive opener, like you go a lot of attack bikes, or you go for the operations center, which results again in the flame tank play. But the buzzer squad will scout it out here for Green 0. Very, very important. Oh yes, sorry, Swed-420 scouts it, so he knows what's up. The flame tank's coming. The other thing you can do as well is get a reckoner and put the black hand inside of it. It's kind of like a battle bus, except you can manually decide when to pop it into the bunker.
Okay.
But you can't fire until you do. So you can't fire while moving.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to pop it, and
it.
once you pop it, you can't unpop it. So it's interesting. It's only really used for cheese, like the flame tank into Reckoner Black Hand cheese. It's pretty much what you do. And the Seekers are the tanks here for Skrin. They're going to be the good counter to the flame tank. Flame tanks are
There's actually 2, isn't there?
There's 2.
Tanks,
Flame
yeah.
tanks can destroy them if they're within range. So Seekers have to kite. They have to make sure they avoid the flame tank's range. Skrin doesn't have very strong tanks. Not compared to GDI or Nod, not directly anyway, but this is a nice response. He will get the flame tank and he will take it out. And going for that early flame tank, it actually does limit your early game. We do see 2 refineries here, or extractors for the Skrin. We're so far only 1. Actually even committing to a double flame tank. So Green 0, he really wants to make this flame tank cheese work. He will lose that... Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
a third flame
flame
tank here.
Yeah.
And the Seekers will get destroyed if they are close, but going directly for the refinery. He may lose this one. Flame tanks are so powerful, actually turning... Oh, he built a power plant. The power plant, it blocked off the flame tank, and he won't get the refinery. Nice response with that power plant. It did keep his refinery alive.
That was cool.
At the same time, bear in mind, Seekers tanks, it means that there's only 3 harvesters. By now, you would probably see 5 if it weren't for the Seeker tanks, but you kind of have to.
Kind of paying off here, taking out all the flame tanks.
Yeah, it is. It's really giving, I keep forgetting his name. Swed-420. It's giving him the army that he needs. But meanwhile, the blue Tiberium has been expanded to for Green 0. Do you know what the blue Tiberium does?
I barely know what the green Tiberium does, machine.
Okay, the blue Tiberium, it gives you double income.
Ah, okay.
So that there's less of it, and it starts the game with none of it, so it has to regenerate, but you literally get double income for blue Tiberium.
Sweet.
It's kind of high risk, high reward. If you can hold it, very, very strong. Seeker tanks en masse into the base here of Green 0. He may lose this one, only having the 2 Scorpions, and the War Factory will regenerate the health on the Scorpion. Black Hand and the rocket troops will have some nice damage. Seeker tanks can't actually crush, unlike the Scorpions and Predators here. So rocket troops are very effective. It's delaying the harvesting at the very least. At the same time, though, we need to see some units down here. Has a bit of rocket troops, though.
Yeah, Seeker's going to be moving in. Not sure if they will actually scout the blue Tiberium expansion. So they're just going to avoid it and try and go back to base.
So that's one real weakness of Skrin, is Seekers can't crush. At the same time, though, Reaper 17, that's the sub-faction for Skrin, that Swed-420 is playing, gets the shielded harvesters, gives them a little bit of extra health, makes it harder to harass them. which is maybe why we saw Green Zero go for the flame tank harass rather than like attack bike spam. Because generally Nod go at like mass attack bikes. They're really fast, they're really powerful, but they're quite weak, and they're very strong against harvesters. Also, the Shard Walkers, these units, they're like upgraded versions of the regular gun walkers. Just have the extra damage. Assimilator here, that's the engineer equivalent, is stealth while stationary. I think he's looking to cap something. Maybe a Tiberium Spike. Yeah, the Tiberium Spike is revealed though, so we'll get crushed by the Harvester if Green Zero is paying attention. A lot of infantry here, and that has the upgraded Tiberium Infusion, so the Shard Walkers won't be as effective, but still they're pretty cost effective nonetheless.
Still alive.
Well, we may even go for the Command Center.
Yeah.
The MCV. Construction Yard.
Pretty bold.
I think MCV is Red Alert 3.
Okay.
Or, I can't remember. There's too many yards.
Don't ask me.
And the buzzer hives are the anti-infantry base defense. They fire out little buzzers that then kill the infantry if you get close. A lot of Shard Walkers, and that's the response that you need to have against that man spam. Simulator will actually get the Tiberium Spike. Bit of a misplay there by Green Zero, not scouting that one. But bear in mind, Green Zero, he has the blue Tiberium, so he has a huge spike of cash, and it's 2 for 2 Tiberium fields now. Getting a nice scout off as well. And no teching just yet from either player. It's a pretty slow game at the moment. And we do see the expansion to this third field by the looks of it here.
Starting to move in that direction here. Shard Walker's going to be pushing out. Bunker has been taken on that side there.
But here comes the engagement. Shard Walker's going to be very effective. Militants are actually soaking the damage for the rocket troops. Really nice angle, actually. Having that front line to soak the damage while the rocket troopers deal the damage, because militants have more health than the rocket troopers, and they're cheaper as well. So the Shard Walkers are being demolished. There's just so many of these. But here come the Buzzer Swarm Cool, and that's a support power that deploys 6 Buzzer Swarms, just destroying all the rocket troops as the militants were actually taken out. So turning that one around with the Buzzer Call-in. Nice play there from Swed-420.
So who do you think won that one then? Swed-420? Did okay there? Are we
in terms of who killed the most cost effectively, I don't really know, to be honest. Probably Green Zero, I think. I think.
Yeah, he only really gave away a lot of militants there, not really a lot of rocket troops.
Yeah, and the buzzer call-in, it's a fair bit expensive too. It's hard to say, really. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure some of the more veteran Counter-Arc players would have an idea. Again, I don't really play this game that much. I don't have much of the understanding of the meta of the game. So I apologize that I don't have the professional. That's a lot of
harvesters.
Oh no, that's actually they're
upgraded seekers.
Yeah, so that's one of the other advantages of Reaper 17 is when you tech up at the tech assembler, you can upgrade your seeker tanks and your shard walkers with those shields, give them a bit extra health. You don't normally get those on screen, and they're now having a lot of extra damage against. Well, they're having a lot more extra health, so therefore they're sticking around for a little bit longer. And there wasn't quite the concave that Green Zero had previously. A lot of the Seeker tanks here, not really many Shard Walkers. Shard Walkers can actually crush, but Seekers can't. So Shard Walkers are really good anti-infantry. But not by their own, not on their own. So
not on their own.
Here's the tech lab coming out of Green Zero. You may see some avatars. Here we go. Avatars are the heavy tank, I guess you could say, for Nod. Very, very cost-effective anti-tank tank. And they're like the Juggernauts, where when they're destroyed, they have the husk that you can actually rebuild. So going to be the ideal counter to the Shard Walkers, and still very cost-effective against the Seekers.
Oh, Willis goes out as well.
Yeah, and that big Doomy thing of Doom, that actually... Oh, EMP coming out from the Marked of the Awakened won't connect, though. What that thing is there, that's a support power. I forget what it's called, though. It's the Redemption. You call that down, the support power, and whenever you lose militants or rocket militants, they turn into the Awakened, which are like cyborgs. Not only are they really strong anti-infantry, they also have an EMP ability.
Oh wow!
Which is really bugged in 1.2, but we're on 1.2 plus, so it's actually working as intended. So having that EMP in that AOE is really strong. So I actually quite like that play from Green Zero.
So once that goes down, you want to stop engaging the militants.
Yeah, you do. You want to run away.
Give away too many
you give them free squads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the medics in Co 1. So Avatar's very strong here with the rocket support. Let's see how they go. Avatar's a lot of health and a lot of damage, but here come the Reaper tripods. They're basically the equivalent of the Avatars for our screen. They have the EMP when they get within close, but there's just so many Seekers. The Avatars are dropping, and they will give the husks over, so they can be recaptured by Swed-420. So not exactly a very good engagement here. Vertigo's on the air, really good AoE, but the Seekers and the Shard Walkers both have anti-air, and that's a nice clump there. Vertigo going to have a lot of damage, but didn't actually take out the Shard Walkers because of the shield. Loses the Vertigo, but look at the Avatars. There's 3 of them in a nice clump, and the Rocket Troops having some nice damage here. It's really going to be all about these Reaper tripods. Vertigo going to be doing some nice damage as well. Does drop them, and the EMP will be coming down from these tripods because of the proximity to the Avatars. Losing them nonetheless though, and the Swarm Buzzers will be taking out those Rocket Troops if they get close enough.
That's full there, and the EMP does of course
Wear off.
wear off. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you, Machine there. A lot of the Shard Walkers falling as well. They will
The Pew Pew is real. The Pew Pew is real. Avatars.
I like that. That's a good casting thing.
Obelisk of Light, really strong against everything, particularly tanks. Now what these beam cannons are, they're basically like artillery in a sense. They have... Ooh, actually, here we go. That's a nice mechanic you don't see very often. What the Avatar did is the Avatar just face planted the beam cannon and took his gun. That's literally what happened. The Avatar was like, I would like your gun, please. Grab his gun.
Lovely.
So now the Avatar has twice as much Pew Pew.
Fantastic. But more important, unit preservation there, I suppose.
Yeah,
So you
the
have to
thing
keep
is,
hold of them.
you don't see it often because, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's not cost effective. Like, compared to, like, just spamming avatars. But what it does do is it gives you less squads to micro, or less units to micro. So it's just a bit easier, and then you have more damage overall. Beam cannons, they're like anti-building. They're not very good against vehicles and infantry. They're really great against buildings. They have long range. They can outrange base defenses. And they have this interesting mechanic where the more of them there are, you kind of saw it before, their laser beams like combine. And the more you have combining, the more damage they have exponentially.
Okay.
So like when you have like 4 Vertigos doing a lot of damage here. They're great at sniping harvesters. Great at sniping refineries, buildings, and even Reapers. Vertigos are really strong. They're a great unit for Nod.
You will survive as well, so they're going to return to the airfield. Heal up a little bit.
Yeah, and they're really cannibalizing these beam cannons.
Yeah, good word. Usage there. Expanding back up to the Tiberium field. There was. I think he did end up selling off the refinery. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe the Vertigos blew it up. And so what this is something unique to Scrin, the growth stimulator. This increases the rate of the Tiberium regeneration here. Storm Column is the base defense, the heavy tier base defense of Scrin. Pretty powerful, but doesn't have anti-air. So here we go. Vertigo's looking for some more blood. Got to be careful of the Shard Walkers and the Seekers. They can blow up the harvesters, and they will do so. Even sniping these stimulators might be a good idea. Here we go. Look at that. Nice timing there. Getting the AoE, getting both of those. Running through the Shard Walkers. They will re-stealth, though. So, selling up. Did he cap... I think Green Zero captured that.
Oh, really? Nice.
We went red.
Yeah, we did go red.
Yeah.
I don't know where he captured it with. That was cool.
So I think this is a really good composition here. He's got so many avatars, and they have the double Pew. They're going to be a bit more effective. He's got his man spam. He's got his Vertigos. So I like the army here, but you got to bear in mind there are 3 Tiberium fields. But there's the blue tip, which hasn't been really mined a lot. It's being sort of long distance mined. So there's going to be a big engagement here. A lot of avatars, a lot of tripods in the Shard Walkers. Let's see how this one goes here. Avatars are soaking up damage in the front line. There is the Reckoning, going to be spawning those Awakened. Meanwhile, Vertigos will drop their payload onto the Reaper tripods. A lot of damage coming through, and the Avatars just doing so much damage. Rocket Squad's really paying off here, and there is the EMP coming out of our Awakened. Will force the disengage, running away for their lives. Even the Avatars recaptured up here by Swed-420, and there are... Oh no! The Avatars are crushing the husks! No! He should have recaptured those. Because you can crush with Avatars.
Yeah. Should have recaptured
it crushes
the,
tanks.
tripods. Yeah.
Yeah, but it also crushes the husks. I think it was probably accidental.
Ooh, but unfortunate. Anyway, it does have a large units here. Those upgraded avatars are going to be great once they get the beam cannons in building range.
Yeah. These ones don't. Oh, they do.
Yep.
He has a hand, but I think... I don't know, we'll see. Yeah. Other than that, still a pretty big composition here, and there isn't really any artillery. So if there's more and more of these storm columns, they will be pretty effective against the army here of Green Zero. But yeah, a very, very well-rounded composition. I quite like this. Now that he actually has a few awakened, he will have some EMPs.
And all of the plane pew-pews are alive as well.
Vertigos.
None of them got sniped down yet. All the Vertigos are still alive.
So the Vertigos, let's see what they do here. A lot of these buzzer hives, though, for their anti-infantry, but they can be destroyed by the military, or the awakened even, like the infantry there, that spawn out. So at the moment here, I'm not sure how this is going to go. We do have...
Very tense.
The Warp Chasm. That's the equivalent of the Reclamator Hub that spawns the hexapod, the big, huge, scary alien thing of doom.
Nice.
And now one thing to bear in mind is because... we'll be bombing our way. Oh, it loses actually 2 of those Vertigos.
Oh, that's pretty bold.
Not a cost effective, and he can recapture that. So, also there's the anti-air turrets, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, that one there. That's one. Yep. The Plasma Missile Battery has the upgrade too. Gives him extra damage. Gonna be losing more of this. Gets the husk at least though. It doesn't actually lose it as well, so that's nice. Rotating up to the top left Hyperion field. Lightning Spikes are an ability you can call in. Like, it spawns a little base defense. It's kind of weak though, but it's annoying. That's what it is.
Might be able to destroy the refinery there. Was that responded to?
Vertigo will probably blow it up though.
Big standoff here from the looks of things.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Little screaming noise. That's the Eradicated Hexapod. So the Eradicated Hexapod, basically it has like a line attack where it does damage in a line. So it's pretty good against clumps of units. Not so much infantry, more so vehicles. Not really the avatars as much as it is good against like Scorpion tanks. And also can be garrisoned with infantry. We do see a couple of engineers, even some disintegrators, the anti-tank infantry. And these Corruptors here, they're like flame tanks, but they can't target buildings. And what they can do is if they poop on the hexapod, it actually heals itself. So you sort of have to focus the Corruptors beforehand, otherwise the hexapod heals.
Heal up. Yeah. So he's going to try.
But this is nice.
Now.
That's nice. That's what you want to do. You want to have the vertical. Wow, that plasma battery.
Nice.
Yeah, anti-air defenses are a big deal. Yeah, if he keeps bombing the Corruptors with the Vertigos, it will deny the heals. Especially because they can clump up when they're healing.
So it did actually take out the refinery down the bottom there.
Yeah. So one thing to bear in mind, the avatars have Vet, some of them. And Vet's kind of hard to get in CNC3, but it's so damn powerful. We do see the engage here now. Awakening has the EMP. That's what you want to have against the epic units. There is EMP. That's a stasis field. One of the support powers. It will prevent them from actually contributing in this engagement. Here comes the huge army, but there's just so much damage onto the hexapod. It will get taken out here by the rocket spam. Even the Obelisk of Light being called in, but there's still so many of these tripods. And the Shardwalkers, Vertigo is dropping more bombs left, right, and center. And a lot of the Awakened Corruptors are going to have some nice damage against the infantry. And the Obelisk of Light are now firing, coming out of... Oh, that's actually the Overlords of Wrath, the big meteors of doom destroying the Obelisk, but not quite the Avatars. And the Awakened, such fantastic EMPs. 3 Obelisks now, such strong base defenses. Green Zero will come ahead of this one, will take out all of the army of Swed-420, taking out the hexapod and now having some husks to recapture. Really nice engagement. The Reckoning is just so strong with the EMPs.
That was pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's kind of intense, man. I'm really liking that.
Did you like the part where the meteors destroyed everything?
Yeah, I like that. I enjoyed that. That was fun and unexpected.
Yeah, Overlords of Wrath costs you 4,000. It's pretty expensive. And what that is each faction has a building that you can build. It's basically a late game tech building, and what it does is it grants you access to a few more of those support powers. There's one thing that I really like about CNC3 that I really dislike about 0 Hour is this how spammable the General's powers are, because they're free. Whereas with Kane's Wrath, you have to be a bit tactical with your use of support powers, because... Are we looking at this?
I was going to look at... Is that the money going up and down?
Oh, yeah.
Because that macro is intense.
Well, there isn't really much APM required because it's like Q. It's like
oh, okay,
you queue things up.
Okay,
you don't have to constantly produce like you do in StarCraft. So the macro isn't really APM intensive, which is good and it's bad. It depends on which way you want to look at it. I mean, there's more focus on micro because you don't have to constantly babysit your production. Vertigos are just destroying these hexapods.
Another house coming down here, and we do have the rebuild there for the...
And what the Spectres are good for is destroying the husks, because when you have the husks, it's going to repair them though. When you have the husks on the ground, it's predictable that the Vertigos will blow it up. So you want to position your anti-air nearby the husks. There's actually, these are some of the Vipers, Venoms rather. Venoms are like anti-infantry helicopters. I think they may have been to deny the assimilators, the engineers. I think he was trying to cap the spark again, as we saw. So, and now we have the Reaper tripods mixed in. That will give some EMPs. Basically, you deal with epic units with EMPs. And every faction has a method of EMPing. In the case of Nod, you can also get Raider buggies that can EMP. Skrin have the tripods, as you saw earlier. And I think at the moment, there's such a well-rounded army here for Green Zero. He has everything he needs, and there isn't really a lot there. There's a fair bit of corruptors, and it's really hard to deal with the hexapod when there's that many corruptors.
But moving in without corruptors.
It is. Oh, the EMP goes in. There is the plasma battery for the anti-air to deny those Vertigos, but it will do a lot of damage nonetheless. And this hexapod will get taken out here. The EMP is so powerful here, and the EMP continues. Loses the hexapod for nothing. A bit of a blunder there for Swed-420. Spectres will have that long-range firepower onto the side here, and I think Swed-420, he's lost his edge. Corruptors, though, will still have some great anti-infantry alongside those Strata Walkers. There's a Reckoning once again to give him more of those Awakened. Avatar's going to get EMP'd here, but still the EMP's from the Awakening. And Swed-420 calls the GG. What a great game.
That was cool. I really enjoyed that. That was very enjoyable.
And the thing is with 1.2, as I sort of touched up on earlier, is the EMP is bugged. If you like fire the EMP, but then you cancel it, it'll set the cooldown.
Oh, but the EMP will still fire.
Yeah. So you can't, like, you can fire the EMP, but you can't cancel it.
Oh, okay.
So it's hard to aim. Because normally you want to, like, fire and then, like, cancel it when they sort of juke it.
Yeah.
So you don't really see the Reckoning because you just never really, it's not worth it. But in 1.2 plus, it's very, very strong. And even then, Awakening are just strong units in their own right. They have good damage and good health. So I think Swed-420, he had a really great opportunity there to crush Green Zero, but his defense was great. He had a really good composition. The Vertigos were just so powerful.
Fun game.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
That's as much insight as I'll give. I don't really know much meta, so again, I won't try and debrief it.
The obelisk was spit as well for that EMP that came down as well to disable one of the obelisks and like 3 of the avatars as well.
Yeah, the stasis field.
The stasis field. Yeah, the obelisks were actually split up to avoid the stasis field for hitting both of them.
Yeah, stasis field's very strong.
Nice.
Skrin have the best support powers, but they're pretty expensive. There's a couple of things you can do, like you can get the stasis field so you block out half of the army. Yep. You can use the phase shield. What that does is it means that your units, like, they're invincible, but they can't fire. You can still crush, though. It's pretty OP. You have invincible units walking around crushing everything. And you can put it on, like, tripods and crush tanks.
Oh,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, and even, like, hexapod. So anyway, that's a look at Kane's Wrath. Thanks for watching.
Very enjoyable.
We'll do some more later on.
Yeah, sure.
All right. We'll be back. Be sure to subscribe for some more RTS action here at General Gentlemen Headquarters. See you later.